from sportschatplace.com and pickdogs.com. It is Thursday, May 21st, 2020. Here with your free live show. I always call it our free live show like we would charge for this. I don't think we would get away with that anytime soon, but I'm glad that you guys are continuing to tune in. And of course, we continue to be here with you through this stoppage in sports. And it's not a complete stoppage, and we're going to talk about some of that stuff in a little bit when we bring in Rod and Chris and Steve. And, we're starting to hear some plans for return of sports. Obviously, I had hoped that it would, be back sooner than this. I'm just like all the rest of you guys that, of course, we don't know what to do without sports. And it's still, you'd think that at this point, it's kind of like when Monday Night Football goes away and, you're kind of just like, what do I do now? You still miss Monday Night Football. I mean, it's like you kind of almost get a little used to it of not having it. It doesn't mean you don't miss it. And I think that's where I'm at, with things with this sports stoppage right now. But they're talking, it's the worst is that we haven't really heard a lot of news recently. We're hearing bits and pieces, but not a lot of news. But we're going to bring in Steve Monahan, and let me bring up his volume before I bring him in this time, something that I haven't done a great job of on the show. But we've been using this time to kind of rebuild our show and, kind of step up everybody's game. So that's what we're kind of doing. And this way, when we're ready to get back in action, giving out picks, we will have a stepped up game. Good morning, Steve. How are you?
Well, thank you, Mitch. Good morning. How are you?
So the latest news that we're hearing, at least from the college world of sports now, is that if there's no college football, I love this one. Okay, I love this one. If there's no college football, because all these, the Notre Dame holier than thou, right? Assholes. We're not playing if there's no fans in the stands, right? It's going to cost you. It's going to cost you. How about this, Mr. God's plan? How about this? It's going to cost $4 billion, and it's going to alter the face of college sports forever. No shit. I think between the canceling of March Madness, and then you want to cancel the college football season, basically lose your year of sports. I don't think that everybody has that Harvard endowment sitting around.
True.
Not all of these universities. Not when you're paying Nick Saban, $25 million a year or something. You certainly don't have that kind of money laying around. And what they're paying some of these other coaches in, college basketball and, whatever. It's, and in college football and, just the amount of money that comes in. And, yeah, they're going to lose some money from that game day revenue. Ohio State, now all of a sudden they went from we're not playing to we're going to play with 20 to 50,000 in the stands, and it's going to be closer to 50, right? We know how these guys work.
Oh, it's going to be definitely 50.
It's going to be 50 plus, right? It's going to be 50 plus, and they don't sell beer they don't sell beer there at the Horseshoe, but they do certainly sell a lot of other stuff, and they're certainly going to be hurting when it comes to those concessions and the parking. You have all these other things that come into effect along with the tickets, right? Any chance these colleges go to a pay-per-view in their home markets?
I mean, there's $4 billion, like you said. There's $4 billion potentially lost revenue. So yeah, they're gonna unturn every stone possible to any source that they can make money. And if that's a viable thing, I wouldn't be surprised on that. And
I think
you got fanatic fans, like you said, from Notre Dame to Alabama's, and
I've been shocked. I've been shocked for a while now that the Super Bowl hasn't gone pay-per-view and had more commercials than ever. I really can see that day coming. And since we were in college, a lot of people don't know this about me, but I studied broadcasting and film in college. It's what I studied, and I studied sports. was my concentration in broadcasting. So I really did study this stuff, and I really did. And it was when ESPN was first coming up, and I met the people from ESPN when they were first coming up. It was before they had any professional sports. Their big thing was college baseball that they had back then. And that was their big
I think
sport.
ESPN was only like 4 years old when we were freshmen.
Yeah,
I think ESPN started in 1979. I think the first.
And they
broadcast was.
and they said, the guy from there used to be another thing called Sports Channel, and it was regional to every part of the country. And the guy who basically set up the entire cable television layout for the entire United States was one of my professors in college. And he what he explained to us was that there would be a day where there would no longer be free sports on television, that everything would be pay-per-view, and there would be more commercials than ever. And that is what it was set up. And I was surprised that, because this, I don't know, at our college, I have to say something that, they took everything to the next level. It was never just like, well, here's a local guy that they have, sitting around and he's going to teach a class. It never really worked
I'm
like
having
that.
a little trouble hearing you, Mitch.
Well, that's on your end. It's got to be.
Okay.
Got to be on your end. But, yeah, because I'm showing, anyone else not hearing me? Because I'm loud and clear here
Okay.
as far as what I see. But let me see. So, like, I know that this particular guy, they flew him in from New York just for the class, every week. So, these are the type of things that, I've been waiting for a long time. And he said the Super Bowl would be eventually a pay-per-view event, and it would have more commercials than ever. So, I just think that we might be headed in that direction. We kind of saw it with the Los Angeles Dodgers last year. And, we've seen it with the Dodgers the last few years, where you don't get them on free TV anymore.
I don't see the Super Bowl being a pay-per-view event. It's become a national holiday type of thing. The ratings are through the roof. I think it's more of it's part of the American society now, and the ratings are through the roof, and the commercials are, I can see a scenario where they're going to want to maximize revenue, but the average fan, I don't think Super Bowl would go pay-per-view.
Oh yeah, what did they charge? What do they charge for these MMA fights? And what are they charging for these Pacquiao Mayweather? What did they get for something like that? And how many did they sell of that? I'm telling you, it's definitely a possibility. And I think the idea of purchasing season tickets for your team and playoff tickets and all of those things to watch games on TV is not out of the question here. These people, okay? These people, and we know who they are. We're not gonna mention any names because they know who they are, okay? These people do not care about us. They do not care. That's what I try and explain. I love college sports, and that game is getting away from us. Okay, they're letting this game get away from us. The first sign that the game is getting away from us is when the officiating gets bad, really bad, like hideously, obviously bad. That they always go to the first crack, right? Is that fine? We'll have replay this way. Everything's legit, right? This is their. Well, we're clean, right? Because we have replay on every play. Let's make the calls so ludicrous that they're not even covered by any replay policy, because no one would ever dream that this would even happen. Okay, that's where it starts. Okay, and then it just goes on from there. It just goes from there, like the NFL. Do we want the number 1 TV market or the number 2 TV market in the country in Los Angeles in the Super Bowl to play New England? Or do you want the number 35 market, New Orleans, in the Super Bowl? Who do we want? Hey, you got any chewing gum? He's asking the other guy, hey, you got a light for my cigarette? And it's like, meanwhile the receiver is getting cleaned out on the side here. This is the world that we live in when it comes to sports. The professional sports game is the the professional sports fan is just not, it's you're just get screwed, And I could see a day where it goes, they're charging me DirecTV for the baseball package. There hasn't even been a freaking game on. They just automatically bill me every month. It's like what they're waiting for is for me to call to dispute it. That is what they're waiting for to happen, and it is going to happen, right? And it's going to be ugly, and I'm gonna be complaining about that I had to call to complain, right? That's basically what's going to happen here. But I think that this $4 billion that they're talking about, I could see where the NCAA tournament goes pay-per-view. I could see it. CBS.
I can see it more on the basketball side than the football side.
I could see it on both.
I can see it on both, but more I would lean towards the basketball.
CBS
but I'll reiterate my point. I don't think the Super Bowl will be a pay-per-view event because it's a national holiday now.
CBS is associated with Showtime. Showtime's running pay-per-view events. Okay, college football associated with ESPN. ESPN running pay-per-view events.
I got it.
This is not a coincidence. This is not a coincidence. How about this? Do you see first-run movies going to be able to watch those from your home at exorbitant fees? Do you see that in the future?
They're doing it now.
Yeah. Do you see that in the future, though, like carrying on? I mean,
I'd have no issue personally.
So with Netflix, with Netflix pumping out movies now and Amazon Prime pumping out movies,
yep.
do the big studios have any other choice?
Right.
Okay.
I mean, the Irishman we talked about when it came out. I mean, that's the first real movie that Netflix, did not put into the movie theater, and the anticipation of that, I think it was right around Thanksgiving. That's probably the model right there. That's the Neil Armstrong landing on the moon thing. So I definitely see that happening, no doubt, and which will translate to sports too at some point. I agree.
Yeah, and like I said about The Irishman, it's like it's not. I don't mind long movies. I mean, I watched Titanic. I've seen it probably 1,000 times. I still think those kids are gonna make it. I really do. But it's the optimist in me. It's like I really like these kids. I think they're gonna make it.
They're good kids.
I think they're gonna make it. I think these kids are gonna make it, and it's like they always let me down, but. I don't mind long movies. I just thought The Irishman drug a little bit. Well, anyways, these are just some things that I'm throwing out there. Obviously, I have no substance behind them, but I'll tell you what. We know who we're dealing with, man. We know who we're dealing with. So, pay-per-view sports, I think, is in our future. I'm going to bring in the Puck Dogs here. Rod and Chris, Steve will be back with you in just a little bit for our exciting Sim Pick section that everyone knows I love so much. But, we're going to bring Rod and Chris here. We have a few things I want to talk to them about. There's Chris and Rod. Good morning, guys. How's it going?
Morning.
Well,
So,
rainy morning for me here.
So last night they're trading paint in Darlington, and I don't know. All the guys that we're talking about on the show they're right there, And then Kyle Busch hits Chase Elliott, my pick, right? Of course, he's running on 4 fresh tires, hits him in the. I mean, they said like he misjudged the gap. This guy's a professional driver. he happens to be driving a Toyota. The other guy was right there. It's a Toyota, right? It's like, what do you think of last night's race? I mean, I'm not a NASCAR guy. I grew up in Miami, so we had. NASCAR was part of what I grew up with long before it became this giant TV thing. The Daytona 500 has been big my whole life. Richard Petty was treated like a god where I'm from. But even if you didn't know NASCAR, Richard Petty probably had the presence, like where I grew up, that Michael Jordan had. For the rest of the world. That's how big of a star he is, where I'm from. But what did you guys think of last night's race, Rod? Denny Hamlin, you called it on here. We both liked Hamlin in that race. I thought he certainly didn't look dominant in there, and I'm not sure he holds on if that race finishes. What do you think?
No, I think if that race finishes, he doesn't hold on to that race. I think he still hangs around in the top five like he always does, but I think Keselowski was coming. Keselowski was coming to get the win. The way he was rolling, all he was doing was driving at the end. And then the little tap you said, the word about it is don't worry, there'll be repercussions in another race coming up. They love to bump each other and cause the drama in NASCAR these days. You can't tell me that he misjudged the gap. No, he gave a little love tap there on purpose, I think.
Yeah, I to me, it seemed to be that way. Chris, what do you think about what happened in last night's race? Any guys that we need to watch out for? I think obviously Chase Elliott is definitely a force to be reckoned with. We saw Kevin Harvick really not even in the race most of the race, finish in the top three. Pretty impressive stuff there. I don't even think he got a call. It's kind of like a horse race where the horse doesn't even get a call, and then all of a sudden he somehow slips into the trifecta. And I thought that's what happened with Harvick last night, where he really wasn't a factor. I mean, if Chase Elliott finishes, is he really there? It's like you kind of have all these other factors, and there was a few other guys also that kind of on the fringe. The 20 car. I thought, was another guy that kind of like, if he would have maybe had a little bit more car, I think he was there, right? What was his name? Jones or something?
Yeah. Eric Jones?
Is that his name?
Yeah, I believe that's the 20 car, Eric Jones.
I thought he ran well. So, Rod, do you think if us three were on the track, do you think we'd be trading any paint? maybe a little love tap here and there.
A little bump and grind.
I can see it. I can see it. We'll have to eventually have a go-kart race with us. We'll go to Vegas and get in some go-karts or something. See Rod sporting the Pick Dogs shirt. So coming up, we're at May 21st. We got UFC on May 30th. Rod, when's the next NASCAR? I believe it's coming up, right?
Tonight.
Tonight?
Tonight. They got the Infinity. It's called the Infinity Series. It's one lower than the Cup race. So it probably starts here in about an hour. They're trying to get it off this morning at 10 o'clock.
Who do we like?
For me, I'm going to take a shot. It's Kyle Busch is minus 140, and more than likely he's.
How is it one lower and it's got the same guys in it? This is what I never understood about NASCAR. I never understood this. It's like, how do you have the same guys if it's a division lower? Like Tony Stewart used to do this, right? He'd run in every division. It's like the whole idea is that it's like the minor leagues, like Mike Trout isn't playing in in the minor leagues and in the regular games.
Exactly. I don't understand how it makes no sense to me either. But I'm guessing it's got to have something to do with the car they're running. There's probably the little touches and stuff.
I'm gonna guess money has something to do with this. Just
probably that too.
Just a suspicion.
Yeah. More spotlight in the Cup race than the Infinity race. But this Infinity race, I'm going to take a shot with Harrison Burton at plus 900. This field is, I would say, the top. Whoever's in the top four right now is going to win.
Jeff Jeter from PickDogs.com says they only allow Cup Series drivers to ride a max 5 races in Xfinity. So there it is.
There we go.
Sponsorship money for sure. Yeah, I suspect that. I don't really love that. But man, I wish I could fix my headphone volume. You guys are so loud for me. I wonder if
you have a little thing on your headphones that.
No, here it is.
The volume
it's a slider. It's right here. I got it. It's like you guys sound like I'm at a Stones concert or something, except it's the Puck Dogs. Don't get too. Don't worry, I threw in that Puck Dogs clarifier there. Anyways, so we have, who do you like in today's race? Kyle Busch. Was he like minus 175 again? Is it,
Not bad. He's only at minus 140.
Is Chase Elliott in this race?
No.
Okay.
The only other big name, like I said, he's the biggest name in this race today. All the other ones are some rookie guys that I've barely heard of. There's Harrison Burton. He's got one win already. He's starting in the third spot.
Is he Ward Burton's son?
Well,
I'm going to guess he is. I'm going to guess he is. These NASCAR, these racing families in every different division, it's always sort of family. Jeff Jeter probably knows that. If Harrison Burton is any relation to Ward Burton, my guess, son, cousin, nephew, something like that. Harrison is Jeff Burton's. There it is. He's Jeff Burton's son. There you have it.
Jeff Burton's son. Yeah, not Harry. No. No relation to
Cousin.
That could be.
No, it is. Oh. Jeff Jeter is our NASCAR guy at Pick Dogs. He knows. We got to have him on the show. He's in Tennessee. He's a NASCAR guy. Lax Bravo likes Briscoe. Chris,
we lost
Chris.
Chris just left.
Somehow we got Steve Monahan back. That was weird. Let me see. If
that was weird, yeah. And Skype must have just went. Bloop.
Yeah, but I wouldn't get. That's my auxiliary. Oh man, what a mess. So let's get Rod back. What was that? What camera was that? Oh, it's this one. That's what happened. Is this on? I didn't even think this camera was on. I guess it doesn't need to be on. Oh, that's strange. What is connected? What is looking? It's so weird. There's something. There's like another camera that's pointing at this. Look at this one. Oh well, I'll figure it out later. Anyways, Rod, I don't see Chris coming back. He should be back though at some point. This happened to him before. What about hockey? Like where they're talking about? I would love to know what this camera is right there.
The hockey discussions is Gary Bettman here. He wants to have it where we had like one or two or three hubs before. Well, now he wants to have it, try to get like 8 or 9 hubs. If he can get that many. I think what's happening in these as we progress here. Highest their data that they're looking at for actually playing games.
So you guys can see.
So I think as time goes on, basically it's going to dictate who has which city has the best that can host these games the best without getting anybody more infected than anything.
This is what it looks like in here these days, guys. Yeah, this is my microphone. That was weird. All right, let's get this back together. We're really apart here. All right, so do this one, this guy, this guy, this guy. Chris, welcome back. What happened there? Technical difficulty?
Yeah, the power flickered.
Power flickered.
Yeah, sorry about that.
Are you at the luxurious townhouse, or are you at the?
I'm away from the duplex, unfortunately.
Briscoe plus 600. Yeah, we can't do Kyle Busch if he's the heavy favorite. I gotta say that much. Anyways, they're talking about doing hockey. They said they would announce by tomorrow, and now we're hearing a multi-city plan. Conferences in each city. Any
Yeah,
update on
exactly, and
this?
have like break it down into each section. Well, I think what he tried to do was he tried to get some like on each part of the country, but the East Coast is in such a mess on in the U.S. that there's no place there that can really that's really viable at this point to host. And to be as a host, you can't even put people in Boston. It's just not viable. So it's coming this way. You've got Columbus, which is about as I said is a safe hub. Basically, that's what we're waiting on. We're waiting on
Columbus,
which
Ohio? Is a
they've got
safe
Columbus
hub?
as a
How is
yeah
that
they've
a
got
safe
Columbus.
hub?
I that's what they've got on the
They've
list.
gone from they've gone from we're not playing college football to 50,000 in the stands to a safe hub in the last 4 days.
Yeah, so I don't know how that is. I think the top two for me because they've got like 8 or 9 cities that he's working on that he's got proposals with and in the works with. So for me, I think the number one place is going to be Vegas because they've got the hotels and the hotels are just sitting empty. It's like you are in Hawaii, all the hotels are empty. In Vegas, same thing. All these hotels are empty. You could just shut up a hotel right to an NHL guy, and the teams could go there.
I,
Edmonton being next because you can.
but
There's
so in Vegas they have the one arena, where they play the games. Obviously they've done ice events at MGM, which is across the street from the where the Knights play too. So if there's not going to be any fans in the stands, I could see at least those two venues, and then maybe Thomas and Mack. So would they have? Is it one venue, or is it multiple venues within the same city? Because, like I said, right there, those are 3 places in Vegas where I know they can put ice down. I just don't know if they have the facilities, but obviously they can just truck this stuff right in.
yeah, well, you could probably make a rink anywhere, basically.
Well, you can. We know. If we're looking for guys that can make a rink anywhere, I got him right over here. Oh yeah.
Need some wood boards, some glass, put it up.
I'm sure Rod's
Need a
made a
little-
few rinks in his days. Um,
Well, for as far as like Edmonton goes, like we've said before, they have the tunnel system from all the hotels to the main arena, and then you look at all the junior team within that area.
and I think
They
that's
have-
I think that's the key here is the number of facilities that you can have, because are you going to have around the clock hockey like what I want, or
Yeah, he wants to have more like.
or are you
multiple
going to
games. It'll be
have
like
multiple games at the same time?
multiple games like spread out?
I think you could
want
do
it- you want it
both.
to be like,
I think you could do both. I honestly think you could do both. But
I think we're going to see games where we're going to have like 3, 4 hockey games spread through the whole day. You'll have like one in the morning, one in the afternoon, one at night. So you can have like all day marathons watching hockey. Kind of excited.
I like that the baseball players are saying this. I talked a little bit about this yesterday. I love how they say if the season's canceled, they're going to blame the players. Yeah, we are. Just so they know, just so there's no confusion there. Yes, we are. We're going to blame the players, 100%.
I think if we get one of these to go and say, hey, we're starting, I think that might kick off baseball and basketball.
Is Nashville listed in the
think
cities
so.
for NHL? I don't think so.
I don't think so. I haven't
Yeah, I haven't
seen
seen it.
Vancouver, Toronto, Edmonton,
In Vegas.
Vegas, Columbus,
I have not heard
somewhere
Columbus.
in Arizona.
Columbus to me doesn't make any sense.
Not me either. Vegas, I see. Vegas and Edmonton, I think, are top runners. Vancouver's is probably a close third, and then Arizona. Those 4, I think, are really viable.
All right. Well, hopefully tomorrow.
Because Edmonton, same thing. It's got multiple arenas as well. It's got their brand new arena, and then you got the old arena that Gretzky played in. It's still sitting there.
If we have breaking news on the NHL, if they do announce, or if any sports announce, we'll come back on live for a special show and talk about how much we're going to bet on each game, and just how we've saved all this money, so we're going to bet even more. And if people want to call us degenerates or make snide looks and comments about us that aren't in our community, we still don't care. Anyways, we're going to bring back Steve Monahan here. We're going to talk about things we don't care about, and that's going to be the sim pick section of the show. Everyone knows nothing I hate more than a good old-fashioned sim pick. So let's see what we had yesterday. The card. Chris, how'd it go yesterday?
The Steelers covered. They won 17-9.
Against the Texans?
The Ravens against Texans. Yeah, the Ravens
Texans
covered
money
against
line. I
the
guess
Colts.
that didn't win. All right.
One of them.
Ravens.
The Ravens covered against the Colts 27-17. The Seahawks covered against the Eagles 41-24. And the Niners covered against the Cowboys 27-24.
3-1. I'm 6-2 in the last 2 days. The more crap I talk about these sim games, the more I do it. So Pat Dye has the coronavirus and he's been hospitalized.
80 years old, Pat Dye.
Yep. Meanwhile, here we've been out for 3 weeks, and we've had 2 new cases. So where the spike is that everyone said is coming, when everyone gets out again, we're not seeing it. And I don't think the other places
You live
around.
on an island in the middle of the ocean. I mean, 2 new cases. I mean, come on.
Yeah, but I don't
It's
think anyone's seeing a spike. Is Georgia's not seeing a spike, and they're totally out.
No, I'm not saying there's a spike, but there's still,
Well,
where I
we
live,
managed
New
it the
York-
best. We managed it the best. There's no doubt about it. It was like as soon as we heard there was this thing, everybody that doesn't live here, get the hell out of here. And those people that do want to come in, it's a 14-day quarantine, and we're not joking around about it either, because everybody knows everything. Because as they say here in Maui and the rest of Hawaii, word travels by the coconut wire. The 2 coconuts tied together with the string. That's how word travels here, and it's like everybody knows everybody. So if you're not from here, everybody knows that. And if you're out on the beach, you're out running around. This is what they do: they arrest you. They throw you in jail, they fine you in the $6,000 range, and they stick you on a plane and they ship you the hell out of here. That's what they do if you break the 14-day quarantine. And there's no, argument. There's no, oh, it's this guy. Boom. And I'll tell you what, it worked. And, we did the social distancing. We do all those different things. But I know that, several months ago, I know I had the virus. I know I did. All right, I've already had it. I know that, and I know other people that have had it as well. I don't know if you guys remember, but a few months ago, back in January, in between my trips to Vegas and San Diego, I was on this show with the Puck Dogs, and I said to them, and I said on the show, I never say this. I never do this. I show up in the hospital. I show up everywhere. I said, but I am really, really sick. And I believe I had the virus. I went to the doctor. I went through 2 rounds of Z-Pack, and that's what it took to cure it. But I haven't missed a show or a day of videos in 13 years. And that day I did the show, but man, it was the first day where it was like I felt like I was going to pass. I had to end the show. I was so sick. And it was like I continued to do the show. I was really, really sick. And people were like, man, this is like, I've never seen you this sick. I do believe that I had the virus then. I'm pretty sure I did. And I know other people here that were like in the same condition because I'm around a lot of tourists. I play golf. It's like if you play golf, man, half the people out there are tourists. At least not now. Now there's just empty golf courses, which is pretty good. Hit the stick on 18 yesterday, bounced out. Oh, it was a gem, man. It was 565-yard par 5. I hit the drive straight down the middle, smashed the 3-wood, and then I had about 95 yards. I hit a gap wedge, and the thing hit the stick, the lower portion. It had so much spin, it hit it again. And it was like this far. It was tap in birdie, but no eagle. Live to fight another day. I birdied 15 and 18. coming down the stretch yesterday. It was a miserable round, and then the back nine, I put it back together. I was way over swinging. I'm just like most people when they play bad, just way over swinging, gripping the club hard, all those just stupid things I tell people not to do. Swinging with my arms and with my shoulders instead of my hips. It's like all those things. Just you name every golf mistake. Like if you ever play with anyone that loves to give you the unsolicited advice, I would have gotten a handful of it yesterday. It would have been a shut the hell up round, And eventually, you play with that person, they start, the unsolicited advice. It's like, you might want to tee your ball a little higher. It's like then you have the guy, the guy that looks at you because it's like it's like you're having a conversation with one of the other guys you're playing with, and he's like, "Are you guys done yet?" And it's like, then you start walking around like, "Don't wake the baby," you're tiptoeing around the green. Anyways, I could talk golf all day. I'm going to be hitting the links right after this, and then tomorrow, Kapalua, 8:30 tee time. Plantation course. Kamina rates. $78 for Kapalua Plantation. Normally $379. Chris.
Good deal.
Speaking of Kapalua, what do we got? First, Rod, do we have hockey today?
Well,
Let's mix it up a little bit. Hockey?
Hockey.
Yeah. Let's start with a winner. Did you win yesterday?
Finally lost one yesterday.
Whoa.
The Islanders. The Islanders beat the Rangers 5-3, but we hit the over. The over was plus 120, so if you would have taken the over as well, you're still up a little bit.
So Rod goes to 62-1. It's like
62. So today we got the St. Louis Blues at the Boston Bruins.
I know.
Stanley Cup rematch.
I know two guys on my text string that will be going at it if they knew this was going on. I'll have to let them know.
So I'm going to take the Boston Bruins on the puck line. Boston minus 1.5.
I'm gonna have to go against it. I'm gonna take the Blues.
Plus 130.
I'm taking the Blues.
At a principle with Mitch, I got to take the St. Louis Blues here.
What's black and golden plays golf every April. Anyways,
I think Bennington's in net, but I think Rask will be in net for Bruins, and he's rated way higher. Boston has 5 players rated in the top 50. St. Louis only has 2. In a real game, give me Blues. Give me the St. Louis. But this Sims, I got to take Boston. The computer just knows. The computer has Boston always ranked better.
Not a fan of simulated sports. Chris, speaking of simulated sports,
let's get some football in there.
Yeah, let's talk the real simulated sports. Canucks.
12 Eastern, Falcons minus 3.5 against the Bears.
Falcons minus 3.5.
I'll take the Falcons.
I'm gonna take the
Falcons.
I'll take Chicago Bears.
Bears played yesterday. They're on a back-to-back.
Yeah.
They're gonna be tired.
They're gamers. Eddie Jackson refuses to lose.
3 Eastern, Chargers minus 4.5 against the Jets. Take the Chargers.
Oof. What's the
Chargers.
over for interceptions in that game?
I'll take the Chargers.
Yeah, I'll take the Chargers.
7 Eastern, Saints minus 1 at the Vikings.
Vikings.
Saints money line.
I like the Vikings. I think that what's going to happen is it's going to be like 2 seconds left on the clock. Going to send the receiver on a straight pattern right down the sideline. The Saints defender is going to dive for the ball and miss. He's going to catch it and run it in for a touchdown.
I'll take
go
the Vikings.
I'm going Vikings.
And 10 Eastern, Patriots minus 3 against the Chiefs.
Chiefs money line.
Yeah,
Patriots
Chiefs.
minus 3.
I'll go Patriots.
I'll go Chiefs. hate Sims. Hate them. Yes. Then back to back. I'll tell you what happens is I start overswinging. I start, to me what happens is I start thinking about other things. And it's like if it's something that's aggravating me, my swing gets worse and worse and worse. Like when I was going through that lawsuit and everything last year, it's like I would start off okay, and like the people I was playing with, they'd be like, "What happened?" It's like your whole game fell apart. It's like crushing it off the tee and nothing else. You know, it's like. All right. I guess that's it for today's show. Tomorrow we're going to be talking about how hockey is going to be restarting. We're going to have firm plans on that, and hopefully the death of the sim game. I think we'll have to have a when sports comes back, we're going to have a party for the death of the sim game. But anyways, I didn't mention it. I didn't mention it on
We'll
the
have
show.
the controller burning, and we'll burn the video game systems. We can have them in a big pile. We'll throw your controller in.
Big bonfire.
Yep.
Yeah.
All right, everyone. Have a great day. We will see you tomorrow. As you can tell, everyone's production quality here. Everyone's production quality is getting a little bit better, a little bit better, a little bit better. By the time we're ready for game time, we'll be ready for game time. Have a great day, everyone. I'll see you tomorrow.